Klay Thompson signs with the Dallas Mavericks. The former Golden State Warriors superstar has signed with the Dallas Mavericks on a 3-year, $50 million deal. Wait, what? Didn't he get an arguably better offer from the Warriors? I thought the NBA was straight dollars and cents. Hey, what's happening, everyone? This is Swish Culture. While this has been a highly anticipated move since halfway through the past season, to actually see Klay Thompson leave Golden State, a team with which he won 4 championships, is still a bit surreal. In today's video, we'll take a look at the details surrounding the Klay Thompson trade, and yes, it is a trade, including what the Lakers were offering to steal the second greatest shooter in Warriors franchise history, and the real reason why Klay Thompson actually decided to leave Golden State. Before that though, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to Swish Culture for the most analytical and entertaining NBA content on the planet. Now get ready. You're about to get One of the biggest and most anticipated trades of the offseason just went down, and Klay Thompson is no longer a Golden State Warrior. He is a Dallas Maverick. We covered most of the details in this saga in 3 prior videos, so there isn't too much more to be broken down. But now that we have the final pieces of the puzzle, let's put it together. The exact trade, which is a sign-and-trade deal, involves 3 teams, which includes the Charlotte Hornets. The first part of this trade sends Josh Green to Charlotte for 2 future second-round picks, a 2025 from the Nuggets or 76ers, and a 2031 from Dallas. That will go to the Warriors in exchange for Klay Thompson. Now, the crazy part of this is that the deal is for 3 years and $50 million, which is just around $17 million a year, and far less than the 2-year, $48 million extension the Warriors offered Klay at the beginning of last season. At the end of the season, the team offered him something north of $20 million per year for 2 years, an offer which Klay rejected and cited as being disrespectful. One of the major holdups was the fact that Klay was seeking a longer-term deal of 3 years. The Warriors seemed content with Klay going out to get that deal and potentially match it. However, Klay further squashed that idea by stating he will not re-sign with the Warriors even if they gave him a better deal. This isn't too far off from the Klay that we've all been introduced to this season. We've often seen Klay being upset on the bench, throwing things, or not celebrating when the team scores. As a veteran, one could reasonably expect a display of leadership. However, he felt disrespected when he was taken out of the starting lineup.
What do you want me to bench me?
And benched to close games. Needless to say, this move on Klay's part was motivated by much more than financial reasons, and more so on how he feels the team treated, or rather mistreated him, and disrespected him with their offer. But was the contract the only reason Klay Thompson left? Most certainly not. It's being reported that Klay Thompson was going to be coming off the bench behind pods for the upcoming season. While that is some level of disrespect, it does seem that Klay never really got past coming off the bench, and to come off the bench for another player in his second year full-time after having to do so for stretches during that player's rookie season probably stings pretty bad. Klay views himself as a legend and more than likely believes he deserves that starting spot. But this isn't the only development this offseason that likely pushed Klay over the edge. The Warriors had prioritized getting Paul George over re-signing Klay Thompson. The Warriors were willing to sign Paul George to a 4-year max deal, no question. Paul George was actually drafted 1 year ahead of Klay Thompson, with both being 34 years old. That Paul George could get a max deal at that age, and Klay Thompson couldn't, likely didn't sit well with him on top of the likely heated discussions that took place throughout the contract negotiations. All combined, it likely led to the inevitable departure of one of the longest tenured players on one team in the league. Was the team right in choosing to offer Klay a lower paying and shorter contract? How do you determine his worth? Klay Thompson has always been the Warriors' 3rd or 4th most important piece to this team. Considering how good of a player he is, this only serves to put into perspective how great of a team the Warriors have had over the years. It also was absolutely necessary for them to win as many championships. Between Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Draymond Green, and even Andre Iguodala, each of these players has a legit argument as being better for the Warriors than Klay Thompson at some important juncture in the dynasty. In 2015, both Draymond and Iguodala were ahead. 2016 Klay was the most transformative, putting up 24 points per game in the playoffs, but depending on how you look at it, could still be seen as being behind Draymond considering his performance in the finals. 2017 and 2018, he was behind both Draymond and KD, and while he might have done something in 2019, his ACL injury derailed any chances of that happening, as we never really got to see Klay shine. Klay was again behind Draymond and Wiggins for the 2022 championships in terms of importance to the team in winning, maybe even behind Poole, and of course, he was behind Steph Curry every single one of those years. Now, while some of you may look at that and think I'm hating on Klay and that I'm saying he wasn't all that good, that's not exactly true. There was a reason this was a dynasty. Both Kevin Durant and Stephen Curry are all-time great players, both easily being top 15 all-time. Draymond Green and Andre Iguodala are both going to be Hall of Famers at the end of their careers and have shown that they have two of the greatest basketball minds this league has ever seen. This team is arguably the greatest team of all time, and being even fifth on that roster is a noteworthy career only few have ever or will ever accomplish. Klay Thompson's tenure with the Golden State Warriors certainly aided in defining the dynasty, so arguably his departure could be seen as the end of it. That isn't, however, the last we'll see of Klay in his attempt to win a championship. Apparently, the Lakers were offering an $80 million 4-year contract to Klay Thompson. Klay has strong ties to LA, being that his dad, Michael Thompson, played for the Lakers and it was his favorite team growing up. Despite the Lakers' offer, however, Klay decided he would not be teaming up with LeBron and Anthony Davis. If not for the fact that the two had been longtime rivals, I suppose one could consider the fact that the Lake Show is currently being run by LeBron, and Klay could possibly end up being the scapegoat when the team doesn't win a championship next season. However, the official statement is that Klay turned down the bigger offer from LA because the Mavericks were only 3 games shy of a championship this past season, as well as having more taxes to pay in California and less in Texas. Pulling up Klay Thompson's win share for every playoffs he's made, the most amount of win shares Klay's had in any playoffs was 2.5. Half a game less than the 3 that would be required to push the Mavericks over the top, and that was in 2016 when Klay Thompson peaked. If we looked a little closer to modern Klay, back in 2023, Klay commanded all of 0.2 win shares. This simply means Klay Thompson is not going to put the Dallas Mavericks over the hump and might actually even hurt the team under certain circumstances. Of course, Klay could always return to 2016 Klay and give the Mavs a boost in Luka's hunt for his first championship and Klay's 5th. Although that is very unlikely to happen. After being drafted in 2011, 4 championships and 13 years later, Klay Thompson has played his last game as a Warrior. One could argue a number of games to be the highlight of his career, but Klay Thompson's 37-point quarter is one which will likely sit in the history books for a long time to come, and in my opinion is the biggest highlight of his career. It's also quite interesting that it came against the Kings, the same team against whom Klay played his last game as a Warrior and went 0 for 10 from the field. What could have otherwise been a legacy move in taking the contract to stay with Golden State, Klay seemed a bit petty and childish in his acceptance of a contract that is arguably worse than what he could have gotten had he stayed with the team. His legacy at Golden State still remains, albeit with a stain that might reflect more or less poorly in the future than what it is today. Best of luck to Klay Thompson on the Dallas Mavericks, but as long as Klay remained a Warrior, he was not prepared to take any other role than as a starter next to Steph Curry and Draymond Green. Klay was not prepared to take a lesser role to help the team, and a new team with new vision and focus might help him relight the spark that made Klay Thompson one of the deadliest shooters in NBA history. His role at Dallas will likely be in the starting lineup next to Kyrie and Luka. What do you think are the Mavericks' chances of winning the title? Post your thoughts in the comments below. If you want to hear more of the best NBA content, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on all your notifications so you don't miss any of my latest uploads. Thanks for watching. Till next time. Swish.